The ASICS NovaBlast 3 has been getting so much hype in the running space over the last little bit. People are calling it the shoe of the year. People are hyping this thing up more than, well, anything that I can ever remember. I am here today to examine, is it truly worth the hype, and is it truly out of this world, or are people just going crazy and is it overhyped? Let's start the examination. So we're going to be examining the NovaBlast 3 from the perspective of what it's being marketed as, and that is a daily trainer, and a light one at that. Now, I will say it is pretty lightweight on foot and in hand and on the scale. This thing has definitely lost some weight. It's been on a diet. Gonna have to ask him some tips about how he lost so much weight from the previous iteration, but honestly folks, I didn't have much luck with the previous NovaBlast. The NovaBlast 1 was a bit too unstable with me. The NovaBlast 2 was just, I don't know exactly, but it was making my foot strike go in a completely odd way and causing a bunch of pain. But when the NovaBlast 3 was unveiled and I could see a completely new geometry, let's just be honest, this shoe looks absolutely fantastic. I was pretty darn hyped. I was pretty sure that they would address some of those stability issues because it is one of the biggest complaints people have had, but did they fix it, or is it still just completely overhyped? Well, let's start off by talking about the upper. NovaBlast 3, I'm here to examine your upper to see if it is any better. We will tell the people the truth. I'm just gonna come out and say it. The upper on the NovaBlast 3 is vastly improved compared to the first and second iteration. The lockdown on this thing is absolutely fantastic. The upper on the NovaBlast 3 is exceptionally comfortable for my foot. The lockdown is exceptionally good thanks to that half-gusseted tongue. And yeah, I am using the runner's knot, and I always use the runner knot on all my shoes because I just find that it does give that little bit of extra lockdown and makes the shoe feel that much better. Subscribe if you want to see a video all about the runner's knot. That's coming up pretty shortly. The ankle collar is reinforced and there's a bit of padding around there for a little bit of extra comfort, but overall there's not a whole bunch of extra padding on this upper, which I really appreciate. There's a little bit of structure in the upper as well, and that is very welcome because the second iteration of the NovaBlast, I found the upper sat on my foot and it was really honestly uncomfortable and hot. The upper on the NovaBlast 3, folks, I couldn't be more happy with it. That is definitely worth the hype. Now let's examine the next section, the midsole, the FFBlast Plus. The thing that we're all interested in, is this thing living up to the hype, or are the influencers lying to us? Let's find out. The FFBlast midsole, you are standing on trial to see if your allegations of being one of the best midsoles in 2022 for a daily trainer is true, or are you lying to the people? We will analyze and find out. Now the midsole isn't what I expected, folks. It's not what I expected at all, but does that mean it's a bad thing? Not necessarily. Just hear me out for 1 second here. So in the Nimbus 24 and the FFBlast Plus feels exceptionally soft, honestly. So I thought when I would put this shoe on with this big slab of FFBlast Plus, I'd get a bunch of squish and response and just a nice soft feel. But that's not what I'm getting with the FFBlast Plus at all. In addition to that, I thought that this shoe was gonna feel like nothing I've ever felt before just due to the sheer amount of hype surrounding it. Again, that's not true either. I've definitely had shoes that have felt more unique than this. This shoe is fine. The midsole's good. It's nothing bad, but it's just not what I would expect from a shoe that has all this hype surrounding it. Now, of course, this shoe isn't a carbon plated racing shoe or anything like that. It is purely meant to be a daily trainer. And if we examine it based on those merits, this midsole does a fantastic job for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason for me is the FFBlast Plus is just so lightweight. In addition to it being lightweight, it gives that little bit of extra pop when you're out there running. Now, it's not like what you're gonna get in the Endorphin Speed 3 where you can really tell that that midsole is just making your running easier. The FFBlast Plus, I definitely feel like I still have to put in effort, but it's not dragging me down. The geometry of the midsole is also pretty darn good. It's stable, it's nice to run through, it's nice and smooth. I'm not getting that excessive amount of overpronation that I got in the previous iteration of this shoe. It's just been a nice, comfortable ride, and my legs have really been appreciating it, and my feet have as well. Now, I'm gonna take this as part of the midsole as well, but it might be part of the outsole, but they have a decoupled groove and a little bit of a protrusion down here in the forefoot, and both of those things do also add to the ride. I can definitely feel that protrusion in the forefoot, and it really just gives me a little bit of extra pop. For a daily trainer, I wanted to be able to do a number of different runs. Yeah, it might not be the best speed day, it might not be the best easy day, but I want to be able to go through my range of paces on any given day. And the midsole here in the NovaBlast 3 is allowing me to do that. I can pick up the pace, I can go easier, and it's not feeling awkward for any of those paces. So in that aspect, the NovaBlast 3 midsole is pretty good, but I'm not gonna say it lives up to the hype just for the simple fact that it's nothing insanely new. It's nothing amazing. It just is a good midsole. Outsole, you are standing on trial for making Ed Bud slip on leaves and all these different things. That's a joke. I love you, Ed Bud. But in all seriousness, the outsole has been an issue people have been having with the NovaBlast 3. They're not liking the AHAR rubber. 40 Runs even said it's no good. And honestly, for me, I haven't had any issues. I intentionally tried to slip out there today on wet leaves and all these things, and maybe I'm just so sure-footed it doesn't matter, but just I broke my Lego thing in the back here yesterday, so I can tell you I'm a clumsy person. So it's not that I'm sure-footed, but I just haven't had any real issues with the outsole, and I don't even like speaking about the outsole with initial impression, because the outsole to me, it only matters how well does it hold up over time. So that's all I'm gonna say about the outsole. I don't think that this shoe lives up to the hype, especially for 190 Canadian dollars. I just don't think that it's really anything new. I don't think it's anything amazingly special. Yes, it's a fantastic daily trainer, and if you get the shoe, you're not gonna regret it. You're gonna be able to go through the paces, and you're gonna enjoy all the miles that you put into it. However, I don't think it's worth all this massive hype. Now, if you've tried the NovaBlast 3 and you completely disagree with me and you think this shoe is the best thing since sliced bread, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, join our Discord community. We have so many great discussions going on, from weight loss, personal growth, running, and running shoes. So join that, it's free to do, link in the description down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button right down below. And on your way down there, hit the like button, helps get this video to more people. Thank you.